Hello. This is the first video of a small series of videos that I will record about how to create AIW files for rFactor. And this will be about waypoints and corridors and some things that you have to take care when you start with it. One thing what every modder should have, that is this 3D SimEd software from Dave Nguyen. That is very helpful in many cases, because with that many things can be done quickly, and it's worth the price that it costs. Okay, I think I will make the video about creating a complete new AIW file. So I start with an empty one, and there you already have the first problem that can appear because some tracks don't have the 000 XYZ coordinate on a drivable surface. Sometimes you enter such a track and you are in the nowhere, in the empty space somewhere above or below any surface of the track, and so you cannot drive because you need something on that the car can drive. So there are two options that you have in such cases. One option is you want to create a complete new file, but the track already has an AIW file. If that is the case, you can simply use one PID entry from that original AIW file and copy it as it is shown here. Use the entry PIDs and the first team index. You can copy the complete section and paste it into the empty AIW file and save it. So now when you join the track with this, the car will positioned into that garage, so you have no problem to drive on it. The other method is to use this 3D SimEd tool, and you load the track in it. Then you go to, as I would recommend, to use a position that is around the Xfinish object, which in this case is this here, this one, and right click on the track, click memorize XYZ. Then you can use any such entry from any track, delete the second and third garage, then paste the coordinates from the 3D SimEd, and now overwrite the existing values. The first one is the X value, it's the same here. but the epsilon and z values are switched in 3D sim-ed. So the height, the z value from 3D sim-ed, is the second value in the AIW file. So you have to use this switched. Okay, I will show you what I mean. The x value. By the way, the pit position has 3 entries. There's only the position. The garage position has 4 values, but the first value is only the number of the garage. So the second value is the x value in that case. So we overwrite both x values. And now this epsilon value from 3D sim-ed is the last in the AIW file. And the height value, the last one from 3D sim-ed, is the second in the AIW file. So then we delete this entry. Now we have only this entry in the new AIW file to get the car positioned on that position what we have taken from here, from the track, so that you can drive on the track. Another problem currently is that the dev mode has a small bug where normally in the past you simply could use an empty AIW file and enter the track. It was no problem. Now currently it crashes down to the desktop when you do that. But when you also use an empty cam file, when you load an empty AIW file, then it gets loaded. So you have to use an empty cam file too, make a backup of the original cam file, and then empty it and save it. That is empty saved, that you can load the track in dev mode. I forgot something. One feature or one thing when you create AIW files is that you have to drive paths, fast paths, left, right paths, and that there's also a possibility to do that from a replay. You can drive several laps and use the best lap from that replay, from that session, to record that lap to the AIW file. But to get that working properly, you have to position the first waypoint of the main waypoint path directly as the first waypoint behind of the start-finish line. So you should know where exactly the X finish object is, because that is what the game detects as start-finish line. Because sometimes the X finish object is not directly located on a line, or there is no line on the track shown. So it's better you know where the X finish object is. In this case, it's easy because there is a line on the track. You can see here. So the X finish object is exactly on that line, so we know where the X finish object is, that we can create the waypoint path in a way that the first waypoint is the first waypoint behind of the start finish line. Or better said, the X finish object. Okay, now as you can see, now we are positioned on that position that we have taken from the 3D SimEd software. Okay, now we can already start with creating the waypoint path. To do that, we enter the AIW editor. I toggle driver stats to get rid of it. Everything left is now. It is sometimes a bit tricky to position the car in that way, in a way that you get really the first waypoint created directly behind of the X finish object. I think half of the car should be okay. So here I start to drive the waypoint path. Okay, in the main, go to the main menu and click record a path. Normally this main waypoint path is driven in the middle of the track. It must not be exactly in the middle. But you can try as best as you can. So now hopefully the last waypoint gets created in front of the line. Yes. Okay. If the lab is finished, click add new path as main. You can see the color has switched and the crosses are located on the surface. Then you click save waypoints. Now we will create the pit waypoint path. There's also something that is important, and that is that you have to avoid that the paths of the pit path and the main path are crossing each other. So, like in this case, where the pit entry is on the right of the main path, don't start to record it here, and because you can see you have to cross the main path, start recording it on the side of the main path where the pit entry is. the beginning and the length and the end of the pit path depends a little bit on the configuration of the tracks or the shape, and also, for example, you for sure knew the rule that when you leave the pit, that you has to stay on the line that is let's say is limited by a white line that you don't have to touch or you get a penalty. So if you want the AI do the same, that is stays on the right side of that line until the line ends, you have to make the waypoint path at least so long like the line is. And if, for example, at the end of or short after the end of the pit exit is a corner, it sometimes is better to lead the waypoint path around the corner and let it end there to get it better point for the RE to join the main path. In this case, I stop here on the straight, press to stop again, and then add new path and mark as first pit. So save waypoints again. Now the pit path has to be connected to the main path. To do that, we mark the last waypoint of the pit path, and I don't use a waypoint that is beside of the marked. I use the fourth or fifth into the driving correction of the main path, and then if these two waypoints are marked, you click in the menu under connections, join as a branch. You can see a little message appearing here when you do that, where it's written success. At least there should be written success, that you know that it is done properly. So you save waypoints again and go to the beginning of the pit path. Here we do the same. We mark the first waypoint of the pit path and take this one from the main path and again join as a branch. Get success displayed here. We again save waypoints. There is another option that you can add a pit path extension. For example, if you have a track where garages are on the front of the pit building, like in this case, and also on the back, and so it is necessary to lead the cars that have their garages on the back of the pit building to the main pit path. And for that you can use pit path extensions. And yes, I will simply record it here, because here I cannot drive to the backside, and it's just to demonstrate what for what you have to take care for this extension. You make you again select record a path. Again, stop. And now in the menu, because our main pit path is the first, we select add new path and mark as extension of first pit lane. Click that. And now we connect the end of the extension to the main pit path. Again with a join as a branch. Again save waypoints. Now, and this is very important to get the track working properly in online modus, multiplayer. We don't connect the beginning of the extension in the usual way, like we have done it with the main pit path to the main track path. We select the first waypoint of the extension, and then in the menu we select or click the button cap end of path segment. As said, that is very important to get the track working properly in multiplayer. You see no message, nothing, just unselect all, save waypoints again. So now the waypoints are created, and the next step that has to be done here is to run the find corridors. That is automatically a function that builds the corridors that will mark the road on that the AI can drive later. So click find corridors. That was it. Again, save waypoints. And yes, now I will save waypoints again. I leave the track to the menu and load it again to get the new track loaded, to be sure that all things get loaded fresh now. So then we will check the if you show the waypoint index, you can see the waypoint numbers. Just to recheck if the waypoint number 0 is behind of the yes, it is behind of the experience object, very close to it but behind, so that is okay. And the other thing is we show the corridors. So now you can see these corridors are always made about from a blue line to the right, the white to the left, and under that there are also collision and cut track, cut corridors, but that is something about that I will record another video. Now we have something more what we have to do related to the waypoints and corridors, and for that I will remove to demonstrate that what you have to take care, I will remove the pit wall here, and I will also display the xpit in and xpit out objects, because they are needed to make two other things. For example, on this track where the fit in object is, xpit in object, there is no line on the road surface, as you can see here. So it's a bit difficult to notify this position. And this is the same with the xpit out object. There's also no line, and we need to have also it's easier to have these both objects displayed on the track for the next thing what I want to show you. So I will in the tracks scene file, I will command the render false entries for the xpit in and xpit out. Just put two slashes in front of it, so that they get displayed, and I will hide the pitfall and some other meshes that are part of the pitfall. Genau. Okay, then I load the track again. So now you can see the pitfall is gone. Now I drive to the pit in object, because here we have to mark it's called special slowdown point that is necessary to let the AI know when they have to slow down before they enter the pit lane. So we enter again the AIWEdit01. And here, this is a xpit in object. We mark the last waypoint in front of it, and in the menu we click the button special slowdown. Now that none is marked. When you click it, all marked, then you can unselect all, save waypoints. So that is done. And now, this is something very important now. You in the show height menu, you again show the corridors, And as you can see here, that where the pit wall was, there is no line from the corridors, neither a white line from the pit corridor nor a blue line from the main track corridor. You can also see it here, where this this kind of wall is, that the lines don't go through it. There's no overlapping. The corridors are separated from each other, and that is very important, that in the area between the X pit in and X in the pit path area, to be precise, between the X pit in object and the X pit out object, there, you have to avoid that there are any overlapping corridors between the pit corridor and the main track corridor, because that leads to, for example, yellow flags without a reason, or the pit, the AI doesn't pit properly. So you really have to ensure that there is no overlapping. Can you demonstrate what I mean? Because especially older tracks that sometimes have no pit wall, so that there is no object that prevents the corridors from being overlapping when you do the find corridors routine. I will demonstrate it now. Now that the pit wall is removed, I do again find corridors. You can see, watch it now, as it is here. Here is no corridor line. Yes, I again make the find corridors. Now you can see that the corridors are crossing this empty space where the wall was, because the wall is not there anymore. And for example, the blue line of this main waypoint goes completely over the pit corridor, and the other way around also. The white line from the pit corridor goes completely over the main path. So if you have such a track that has no pit wall, and you do the or you want to do the find corridors, you have to add a temporary wall in the area between, at least between the X pit in and X pit out object. I would recommend to use 2 or 3 more meters on each side to really avoid to get overlapping corridors in that area. That is really, really important. Okay, I don't save here now because I wanted to keep the separated corridors. Yes, I think that's it so far for the waypoints and the corridors. More in the next video. I hope that helps.